Marrying someone who is controlling often means that you will live your life in a constant state of tension and anxiety, always walking on eggshells, never knowing when or how your partner will try to impose their will upon you. This type of behavior stifles personal growth and leads to feelings of powerlessness and submission. It can be emotionally abusive, and over time the dynamic in the relationship becomes toxic. If you find yourself in a relationship where your partner is constantly trying to control you, it is vital to reevaluate the partnership and whether it is sustainable for your own well-being. There's also the person who has no ambition or drive in life. These are individuals who are content with mediocrity and have no desire to pursue growth, development, or success. While this may not seem like a huge issue at first, it can lead to long-term dissatisfaction. Marrying someone without ambition often means that you will carry the financial, emotional, and practical load of the relationship. You will be the one who is constantly pushing for a better future, while they sit idle, uninterested in making anything of themselves. At first, their lack of ambition might seem like a relaxed, carefree attitude toward life, but over time, it can become a heavy burden. If you are constantly striving for growth and success while your partner resists change and refuses to step out of their comfort zone, it can create a sense of resentment and frustration. You may begin to feel that you are carrying the relationship while they are simply along for the ride. In a marriage, both partners must be committed to growing, evolving, and supporting each other in their individual and collective goals. Without this mutual ambition and drive, the relationship stagnates, and both individuals may start to feel dissatisfied, unfulfilled, and disconnected. Similarly, marrying someone who is dishonest or deceitful can lead to a marriage built on shaky foundations. Honesty and transparency are fundamental to any healthy relationship, and without them, trust can never truly flourish. People who are dishonest may lie about small things, making you question whether they are capable of telling the truth about anything. Others may engage in larger, more destructive forms of deceit, hiding things from you or misrepresenting who they really are. Over time, dishonesty erodes the foundation of the relationship. Trust, once broken, is incredibly difficult to rebuild. Even if your partner swears to change, the damage done by their lies will linger, creating a sense of insecurity and doubt. A relationship built on lies is a house of cards that may appear strong on the outside, but it can come crashing down with the smallest push. If you marry someone who is dishonest, you will constantly be questioning their motives, their intentions, and their words. This creates a toxic environment where transparency is non-existent and emotional safety is compromised. Then, there is the person who is emotionally unavailable. These are individuals who have deep emotional walls built around them, walls that no one can penetrate. They may have suffered some form of emotional trauma or heartbreak in the past, which has led them to shut themselves off from others in an attempt to protect themselves. While this may be understandable to some degree, it becomes incredibly damaging in a marriage. Emotional availability is the cornerstone of a healthy, thriving relationship. Without it, there is no true connection, no depth, no intimacy. Being with an emotionally unavailable person means you will spend much of your time feeling isolated, lonely, and disconnected. You may try to reach out to them, to offer love and support, but they will always keep you at arm's length. They may not even realize how their emotional walls are hurting you because they have become so accustomed to living in a state of emotional detachment. Their inability to open up and share their feelings creates a chasm between the two of you that grows wider with time. The silence becomes deafening, and the distance between you will only increase as they continue to retreat further into their emotional fortress. Marrying someone who is emotionally unavailable means you will never truly know them on a deep, intimate level. It's like trying to build a house without a solid foundation. No matter how much you try to construct on top of it, it will eventually collapse. A relationship with an emotionally distant person can leave you feeling unfulfilled, lost, and desperate for emotional connection that you can never seem to receive. There is also the person who is completely controlling. A controlling partner may seem like they have their life together, that they are organized, driven, and know exactly what needs to be done. In the beginning, it might even feel comforting to be with someone who has direction and purpose. But over time, controlling behavior becomes suffocating and limiting. A person who is constantly trying to control everything in their life, including you, will gradually erode your sense of independence and self-worth. They will dictate how you dress, what you eat, who you interact with, and how you spend your time. Every decision you make will be scrutinized and questioned. They may disguise this behavior as looking out for your best interest, but in reality, it's a way of asserting dominance in ensuring that they remain the one in charge. It is incredibly difficult to maintain a sense of self in a marriage with a controlling partner, because they will systematically dismantle any sense of autonomy you once had. Over time, this behavior leads to frustration, resentment, and feelings of entrapment. Marriage is one of the most profound decisions a person can make in their life. It's a bond that goes beyond the material aspects of life. It's an emotional, mental, and spiritual connection. It's the decision to walk beside someone for better or worse, in sickness and health, in moments of joy and sorrow. Yet, as much as marriage can be a source of immense joy, it can also become a source of deep pain if you marry the wrong person. This is why it is so important to be discerning about who you choose to share your life with. There are certain personality types and behaviors that, while sometimes subtle at first, can prove to be destructive in a relationship. These types of people often bring more harm than good, and marrying someone like this can lead to years of emotional suffering and confusion. Let's start with the person who is constantly seeking validation from others. We all crave affirmation to some extent, but there are some individuals who cannot function or feel truly alive without the constant approval of others. These people's sense of self-worth is entirely contingent on the opinions and perceptions of the people around them. They are like chameleons who adapt their personality and beliefs based on who they are with at the time, all in an effort to gain praise or attention. They might even seem charming or perfect at first, as they know exactly how to cater to your needs, make you feel special, and reflect back the image of someone who is thoughtful, considerate, and understanding. But what happens when the initial spark of the relationship fades? What happens when the reality of life sets in, and you no longer have the energy to constantly tell them they are worthy or valuable? Over time, these individuals will reveal themselves to be empty on the inside. They are not capable of genuine connection because they lack the self-awareness and self-love to stand firmly in who they truly are. They are emotionally dependent on others to feel good about themselves, and that emotional dependency can put a massive strain on any marriage. They may constantly seek external sources of validation, which can lead to jealousy, insecurity, and controlling behavior. When you are married to someone who can't validate themselves internally, you'll spend your days trying to fill an endless void that will never be satisfied. Another personality type that can be detrimental in a marriage is the person who constantly blames others for their own issues or shortcomings. Life is full of challenges, and no one is exempt from facing difficult circumstances. However, there are those who, instead of taking responsibility for their actions, behaviors, and choices, deflect blame onto others. This could be any parents, friends, co-workers, even you as their partner. They will tell you that everything that goes wrong in their life is someone else's fault, never theirs. It's exhausting and frustrating to be with someone who refuses to take responsibility for their own life. In a relationship, this creates an imbalance where you, the partner, feel as though you are always carrying the weight of the world on your shoulders. When someone is consistently blaming others, they are refusing to grow. They are refusing to acknowledge their own role in the challenges they face. This is a person who will bring unnecessary drama and conflict into a relationship, as they always see themselves as the victim. The pattern of victimhood leads to passive aggression, anger, resentment, and frustration. If you marry someone who can never take responsibility for their actions, you'll find yourself in a toxic cycle of blame and denial, with no way out.